So, I didn't have the best relationship with my neighbor growing up, all right? Listen, this dude, he really just always thought it was all for him, and this all it really frustrated me. He thought the world was just going to get handed to him. The thing is, though, we actually had a element of him that me and everybody at school always made fun of, right? It's one of those things, it's like autism, where if you're born with it, or like being fat too, it's one of those things that it's like if you have it, that sucks, and people shouldn't make jokes about it, but also at the same time, people are going to eternally and always make jokes about it. So what this kid had was something special, something rare, really. What this kid had was no parents, and the whole school knew it. I forget how they knew it, but it was basically a rumor that spread around because this whole beef started around third grade. It was a rumor that got spread around by, I think, one of his friends that he might have told and then wronged him. I don't know, maybe he stole his diamonds out of his chest in Minecraft, or ate one of his kid cuisine chicken nuggets at lunch while he wasn't at the table, and that really set him off. I have no idea how it got around, but I knew that at a certain point, the entire school, including the teachers, were aware of this. And he was in like the foster system or whatever, but he had a single foster parent. He had a single mom foster parent. I can't imagine the struggle she was in. That sounds terrible, but the focus isn't on her. The focus is about the orphan, all right? This kid had like no connection with any of his family. And again, this is something that we could use to make fun of him. And since he was very entitled, and since he always thought that, he needs to have his way, which is kind of funny because you need to have your way, but your parents didn't need to have you. So it's just an interesting conundrum to be in there. But he always wanted to have his way, and he always wanted things to be done his way. And the teachers always kind of gave him special privileges because they knew he didn't have really much of any life going on at home. So they would make him like the group leader and stuff like that, which would only give him more power and fuel his fire like it's Joffrey in Game of Thrones. But everybody hated him. The whole school hated him. I think the teachers hated him. And I remember one day, everybody was just like flaming him basically because you know how elementary school kids can be, and ravenous beasts out there, okay? And everybody was just flaming him and just laying into him, and it seemed like seemingly nobody was on his side. This was at recess, and it was starting to cause, a decently big scene because there's like I wouldn't say crowd of people following this kid, but there's enough people following him and me. And to the point where it makes a big enough scene that the teachers start coming by, and they come by, and it's kind of like a roast off, but also not, because the kid's not really fighting back too hard. He's just kind of crying. But it's me, it's one of my friends, and then my friend's brother. So it's basically we're 3v1ing this kid, and we're just kind of laying into him. It's like my friend's brother he goes like, I might have no lunch today, but at least I have parents that'll make me lunch, or some shit like that. Just the most ridiculous, disrespectful things you could think of. Anyways, I go back home, and I'm the only kid that's like, neighbors with him. So I see him whenever I come back home. And after that big roast off, that the teachers basically had to break up, and we sent this kid crying home to his foster mom. His foster mom came over to me after school and knocked on my door, had a conversation with me, and I'm like a latchkey kid, so I answered the door with my Capri Sun and my Henry Danger on my TV playing, and this girl's talking to me, and I don't give a fuck what she's saying because it's about her little cripple American dad's son. Like, it's whatever. But she's telling me like all this stuff I can't say, I can't do, and I can't da-da-da-da-da. And meanwhile, all this is happening. And this is starting to seem like kind of a running theme with my stories, but at some point somebody tries to break in to something or break out of something. And what had happened is him and his mom had actually like pre-proposed this or pre-planned this. And his mom was basically a distraction, a Trojan horse, if you will, but not a good use of that analogy, because the mom was talking to me in the front of my house while at the same time in the back of the house where my room is, the little cripple kid was trying to sneak through the window. The problem is that cripples can't really sneak through windows well, like at all, because they don't have like working limbs. So it was a real struggle for this dude, and I ended up hearing him knocking over stuff. And I remember when I did that, his mom was like, shit. It's like they had gone over this 100 times and he still couldn't execute it. But anyways, the mom, or like, I run over to the other side of my house to see what the hell's going on, because I'm starting to get a sneaking suspicion that there's something fishy awry. And his mom like runs around my house from the exterior over to the window that he's trying to sneak in. And so we do this little awkward like meet and greet, whereas we got the sun just like laying on my window seal. It's terrible. And the mom is fuming at the son, because she is an ex-criminal. And what she was trying to do here, apparently, because her son was getting bullied and because she didn't like the town that she was in, she was trying to come in, steal some of the most expensive things from my room, like my computer, my laptop, my Switch, and all that stuff, take all my stuff, and use it as like the final boost of money that they were going to use to get out of town. And you know, I just wasn't going to let that happen. So I see the kid halfway through my window. His legs don't work. His torso is like bent over, and he's like crawling, and he's like trying to be like, come on, man, please, please, whatever, whatever. I just start beating the shit out of him. Start beating the shit out of him. And I show him the shit that he was going to take. I'm like, so you were trying to take this laptop, and then I pistol whip him with the laptop, basically. That didn't end well, and the mom really didn't like that, but it kind of just gave them all the more reason to try to get out of town, because, like I said, the mom was an ex-criminal, and it was already hard enough for her to pass the inspection and all the forms and stuff to get the foster kid, so she wasn't gonna let her life go away because of this whole situation. She didn't want this to get bigger, so she decides that she's just gonna go by herself. She's gonna take it for the team, and she's gonna go ahead and let her crippled little boy be the brunt of all this. And so she runs back to her house. She just completely abandons the little crippled boy that she's had for now about, I think, 3 years, because we were probably about 7 or 8 when this happened, maybe 3 or 4 years. And she goes back to her house, starts collecting her belongings, gets the fuck back out of there. But I still call the police. And so when the police come, the mom's gone, but the kid's still here. So the kid gets sent to the orphanage, because at this point he's got, you know, his foster parents left, and he obviously still doesn't have any connection with his other family because he's a fucking loser. And so he's at the orphanage, and I'm kind of like calming down or whatever. I'm still frustrated, and I'm really thinking about this. This sticks with me, right? And so a few weeks later, I get a letter in the mail, and it's from the orphanage, which I didn't know they did like postcards to Santa or whatever the fuck, whatever the system is for orphan kids. But I get a little letter in the mail from this fucking kid, and it's a threat. He threatens me by letter, like it's the 1800s, like we're about to go into the Revolutionary War. And basically on the letter, it's talking about how, like, you're never going to be able to, you know, stop me from taking your shit. Your shit may as well already be mine. You separated me from my foster mom, and, you know, I'm coming back for vengeance as soon as I get out of here, as if he was like serving a term or something. Kind of funny, but you know, I don't really take kindly to this, because now I'm even though I'm 8 years old, you know, I'm the kid that can run the fastest, and I can, you know, do a backflip and stuff, and so I'm getting all the pussy in like second, third grade at 8 years old. So I can't let a little cripple boy come in and ruin my reputation with the Huzz. I can't let him try to, you know, steal my stuff and make this big deal. And the reason I care so much is because the you know, commotion that had happened at the window got put on the news. And so my whole school had seen it, and it was like local information and stuff like that, kind of like a local big story of a cripple boy trying to come through a window. But my whole school had found out, and then now there's this letter coming in, and I just thought that this dude's really trying to, you know, disrespect me, and he's really stepping on the reputation that I've built, and I just, you know, I'm not going to let him tear down all that I've built up over these past 6 months in third grade. So this is where I start to, you know, go off the rails a little bit. This is where I go to my dad's room, and my dad has a gun. And I'm not going to use a gun because that's insane. What I do is I take the gun, the bullets, and I crack them open, and I pour all the gunpowder out, right? And I take like get to the point where I have probably about an 8-ball worth of shit in my hand, worth of gunpowder. And I take that gunpowder, I combine it with a little bleach and, what was it, like ammonium to make mustard gas or something like that. I put it all together in this, like, you know, separate the bleach, separate the toilet bowl cleaner or whatever, and then I put the gunpowder in all 3 little separate pouches, and I drive up to the orphanage, in my Razor scooter, and I take my bomb that I've made, basically my makeshift bomb, if you will, my wannabe terrorist weapon, and the note had his cell number on it because he was trying to taunt me. He was trying to taunt me because he knew that he couldn't get out, but that I could come to him. So he was basically trying to say, if you don't come to me, if you don't try to fight me, you're a little pussy because I'm in an orphanage and I can't do anything, whatever. So I walk into the building, I park my Razor scooter, make sure I chain that up because that's important, so nobody can steal that from me. That's probably more important than the laptop he was trying to steal. But I tie up my Razor scooter. I walk into the front and I talk to the receptionist and I ask her, for like visitor permissions or whatever to go to this room where all the kids are, and he's in this area of the hospital. So I go there, I get into the room, and I look at him and he sees me and he knows exactly what the fuck's up because the only reason I'd be there is if I saw the letter. And so, after giving everything, after making fun of him at recess, after beating the shit out of him while he was trying to take my Nintendo Switch, he's got all this bottled up anger at me. And this is where it really starts to play out in my favor because like that one scene in the end of season 1 of Breaking Bad, I just take this basically makeshift bomb that I've made that I combine together with like my SpongeBob underwear and like socks and stuff like that, all the explosive shit, and I go, this is not a sodden diaper. Fuck. I go, this is not a sodden diaper. And then I throw it on the ground like that, and then I walk out the building, and basically the orphanage had imploded on itself. Because I had accidentally made a weapon so strong, and there was so much technology in like around the campus or whatever, not the campus, but like the area, because like the kids are so brain rotted and they need like phones and screens and stuff that are just constantly scrolling Instagram Reels. And so when I throw the bomb down, all the electronics and stuff all blow up and set fire and stuff. And so it's like a chain reaction domino effect. And, I'm able to get out of the orphanage and I just kind of walk out and, wipe my nose and stuff. But the orphanage had continued burning down, and it had continued to explode as like all the batteries and the servers and the storage systems and all that it just went kablooey. And that was basically the story of how I blew up an orphanage. So, hope you guys enjoyed.